have all kinds of people come in here. Had a young man came in one day and said he wanted to get clean. He talked with Larry, and after talking with Larry, he just broke down and started crying. And he said, "I never thought I would have to come to a black man to get help." And then he told us that he was a Klansman and that he'd been to everybody that he could think of, and nobody gave him any help. And for him to get this much compassion from Larry really touched him and everything. And we didn't focus on him being a Klansman. We just said, well, that's what we're here for, to help you if you need it. We'll help. So he did go into the program. He's doing well. So, but it was just nice to know that someone had enough trust in us to tell them that he could come here, because someone had to tell him about us, because otherwise he wouldn't have known. And then we had a young lady come in, and she has heart trouble, but she had a daughter who's quite heavy, who has MS, and she has a manual wheelchair and an electrical wheelchair. But the mother had to physically lift the girl into the manual wheelchair and then take her down steps, because there's no ramp on the house, and then carry the electrical wheelchair out and then transfer her over. And she came to see if she could get some help. I think what she was really asking for was help with someone helping her lift the child, but when she told me the story, I passed it on to one of the volunteers from the Bay Area church, and they got a group together, and we were able to get the landlord to give us permission to build a ramp onto his house. And they did this within 3 or 4 days. So, which was, not only were they helping the young lady, but they were helping the mother as well, because that was a lot of lifting for her too. So, and we have stories, hundreds of those kind of stories that come in. Each one is unique, each one is different. We had an African man come in who came all the way down from New York to see us, because he couldn't find any place in New York that would help him, and he had been in and out of different drug programs, but someone told him the one we sent to help. And the problem was he was going to short-term outpatient drug program, so he was going, when he left the program, he was going out there and doing the same thing all over again. So
yeah, so how does that work if you have people from out of state usually? Can you still serve them, or does that cause any challenges?
Usually when they come down from out of state, they've been here and got some kind of residence here for a while before they even hear about us. So, and that's what, but he hadn't been here that long, and he had a room somewhere, and so he did have residence here, so there was no problem with that. But if someone came that was from out of state that was living on the streets, I think, in fact, I'm sure we would still find a way to help them. So we may have to take that funding out of our own pockets, because we couldn't very well justify taking it out of the small grant we got, because the grant is from the city to help the residents. So that we would have to actually take out of our pocket, or as someone might donate, for us. We have had one lady who wanted to see her friend get clean, and she paid for his transportation, and she paid us back the money for it. It costs us $400 a year for to send a male to the program, and $500 a year to send a female to the program. So and I don't think you can find any inpatient program as cheap as that.
Yeah.
So,
why that difference? Why $400 for a man and $500 for a female?
I'm not really sure, because it's the same age, not the same, it's the same group of people, just in different, and it may be because the females we usually send up to Connecticut, up to Bridgeport, and the males we usually send up to New York. So it may be the difference in that. And then the females, let's face it, sometimes they have a little more need than the male as far as personal things go on within our bodies and everything. So it may be a little bit more expensive for them to take care of the female than the male. The programs are the same, because they're all on Pivot Ministry and Teen Challenge. So it's a uniform program. It's a religious-based program. We make sure we tell everybody that before they go, and when they do the intake on the phone with the people, they let them know that. And they do have certain restrictions that rules there. One of them is no smoking, which everybody finds kind of hard. But the thing behind that is, well, smoking's bad for your health, is one thing. And the other thing is that nobody's going to police you to see if you're smoking a cigarette or a joint. So it's best not to have any smoking at all. So